Welcome to Daylight. Today is 23rd of April, 2026. In a significant development within the geopolitical landscape, Iran has confirmed the receipt of its first shipping toll from vessels transiting the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. This toll collection marks a pivotal moment as Iran seeks to expand its influence over a critical maritime route that serves as a conduit for a substantial portion of the world's oil supply. This move could have far-reaching implications for global energy markets and maritime security, raising questions about the potential for increased tensions in the region. The Strait of Hormuz, flanked by Iran and several Gulf states, has long been a focal point of geopolitical strife. As Iran asserts control over this vital waterway, the international community watches closely, concerned about the ramifications for oil shipments and broader regional stability. The decision to impose shipping tolls may be perceived as a strategic maneuver by Tehran to bolster its economic standing, but could also provoke responses from neighboring nations and allies of the United States. As tensions in the region simmer, the implications of this development warrant careful scrutiny from policymakers and analysts alike. Iran's confirmation of receiving the first tolls from shipping in the Strait of Hormuz raises significant questions about the stability and future security dynamics in the region. Deputy Speaker Hamidreza Haji Babaei announced that revenues from these tolls have been deposited into Iran's central bank, although no details were provided regarding who paid the tolls or the amounts involved. This event marks Iran's attempt to exert more influence over one of the world's most vital maritime passages. However, the BBC notes that the claim has not been independently verified, creating an added layer of uncertainty. The tolls would likely serve as a significant source of revenue for Iran, which has been steeped in economic difficulties due to sanctions and the ongoing conflict. However, Donald Trump's administration has explicitly stated its intention to target any ships that pay these tolls. Trump had previously indicated that vessels paying Iran to use the strait would not be guaranteed safe passage, framing the toll collection as a form of illegitimate extortion. The implications of these conflicting claims and actions are critical, as tensions between Iran and the United States remain high. As reported, the situation escalated sharply recently, with multiple attacks on commercial vessels reported. Iran successfully seized two cargo ships, MSC Francesca and Epaminondas, claiming that they entered Iranian waters without authorization. This incident occurred just hours after President Trump declared a ceasefire extension in the ongoing war with Iran, reflecting a paradox where aggressive naval maneuvers are happening concurrently with diplomatic discussions in various stages of negotiation. While the Iranian government states that it is positioned to defend its interests within the strait, the geopolitical back and forth underscores a stalemate that analysts find concerning. The U.S. continues a rigorous blockade aimed at suffocating Iran's economic capabilities, with reports suggesting that this blockade is costing Tehran around $435 million a day. Additionally, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi labeled the U.S. blockade as a major obstacle to negotiations, claiming that such measures only deepen existing hostilities. Reports from various regions convey the dire economic reality faced by the Iranian populace, emphasizing job losses and price rises amid the ongoing conflict. Despite these pressures, Iran's leadership appears resolute, asserting their capacity to endure economic hardships while estimating that U.S. resolve will eventually wane. Continuing negotiations brokered by Pakistan have yet to yield a breakthrough, as both sides remain furred into their respective positions. On the American front, Trump's administration has highlighted its strategy of economic pressure while simultaneously probing Iran's internal fractures. There is speculation regarding the effectiveness of this strategy, with reports indicating a lack of unity within Iran's leadership structure, particularly around the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. His low visibility amid the negotiations raises questions about who is actually making decisions on Iran's foreign policy. The Iranian narrative continues to insist that the country is open to negotiations under conditions defined by their terms, further complicating the diplomatic landscape. Iranian officials have stated that a reopening of the strait is not possible unless the U.S. demonstrates an adherence to ceasefire agreements. This emphasis on terms creates a framework where U.S. insistence on total compliance with sanctions is viewed as an ultimatum by Tehran. As commercial vessels remain at risk, industry voices echo sentiments of caution. Eric Hanel, CEO of Stena Bulk, remarked that without assurances from both Iran and the U.S., their vessels would refrain from operating in the Strait of Hormuz. His views resonate amid reports that shipping activity has dropped significantly due to the fear of attacks and resultant escalations. In the recent backdrop of heightened military engagements, including a series of attacks on Iranian naval assets, the regional power dynamics exhibit signs of fragmentation and volatility. The IRGC Navy has indicated an intention to monitor and respond firmly to any vessels it deems as threats. Yet the precarious nature of these assertions invites further scrutiny. The reconfiguration of military strategies in the region, including the U.S. posture, continues to adapt to the rapid developments of the conflict. The White House insists the blockade has been effective, fostering a narrative that they are in control while also attempting to manage congressional and public sentiment surrounding the conflict. Ultimately, the collection of tolls alongside military actions creates a duality that influences perceptions of trade, security, and diplomacy in a pivotal region for global oil shipments. The international response to these developments will likely shape not only Iran's economic recovery, but also the future of military engagements in the area. With both sides failing to show signs of de-escalation, the potential for unintended clashes increases, further complicating an already intricate geopolitical landscape. Within 24 hours of President Trump announcing an extended ceasefire with Iran, a series of cargo ships were attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian state news agency Tasnim broadcast video purportedly showing the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, seizing 2 foreign-flagged cargo vessels on Wednesday, further intensifying tensions in the region. Iranian officials have accused the vessels of attempting to leave the strait without permission. This incident underscores the complexities of an already strained geopolitical climate, wherein Iran exerts significant control over the Strait of Hormuz, leading to the blockade of up to 2,000 vessels, thereby causing severe disruptions in global energy markets. Iran's chief negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, reiterated that the vital shipping route cannot be reopened while the U.S. blockade persists, which Iran considers a violation of the recently agreed-upon ceasefire. Concurrently, the White House has stated there is currently no deadline for the ceasefire's resolution, with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasizing that only President Trump will determine the war's conclusion. Addressing speculation regarding a possible time frame for negotiations, she refuted claims of a 3 to 5 day deadline, asserting instead that the president is satisfied with the current situation regarding the blockade and views Iran as being in a weak position. The evolving situation has led to immense economic ramifications, not only for Iran but also for the international community. Reports highlight that the U.S. blockade is costing Iran approximately $435 million each day, severely hindering its ability to export oil and import essential goods. Consequently, Iran's economy faces critical challenges, including escalating inflation and job loss, affecting the day-to-day lives of its citizens. Analysts suggest that, despite the Iranian leadership's confidence in their ability to withstand such economic strains, the dual pressures of internal discord and external military pressure may lead to increasingly dire outcomes. As tensions continue to rise in the region, the dynamics within the U.S. military are also in flux. Following recent upheavals, the Secretary of the Navy, John Felon, has departed the Trump administration. This marks the second high-profile military departure within a month, following the Army Chief of Staff's removal. Analysts interpret this shakeup as indicative of underlying dysfunction within the U.S. Department of Defense at a time when the military is heavily involved in operations affecting Iranian assets. The chaotic environment surrounding military negotiations has left many observers speculating about the reliability of ongoing diplomatic discussions. Following the cancellation of anticipated negotiations in Islamabad involving U.S. political figures, including J.D. Vance, concerns have escalated that the future dialogue between the U.S. and Iran may be slipping further out of reach. Reports have emerged indicating that interim efforts mediated by Pakistan are increasingly challenged by the deep-seated mistrust prevalent between the two nations, complicating any potential paths to resolution. In terms of military readiness, the United States has initiated a series of missile tests targeting Iranian air defenses, widely regarded as a strategic maneuver. This tactical approach aims not only to assess Iran's defensive capabilities, but to project American military preparedness should combat operations resume. The testing of cruise missiles without warheads raises questions regarding the imminent likelihood of renewed hostilities, particularly as Israel has conducted flight demonstrations over Iranian territories, reinforcing the message of potential U.S. military action if diplomatic avenues do not yield satisfactory outcomes. Conversely, Iranian officials reflect a strategic stance emphasizing the importance of preserving dignity and reputation amidst a seemingly deteriorating position. In the wake of increasing economic pressures, there is acknowledgement within Iran that surrendering critical nuclear resources may pose a significant threat to the regime's stability. As negotiations remain elusive, any perception of capitulation could threaten internal loyalty among factions vying for power. The Iranian leadership's attempt to balance national pride while addressing economic adversity places them at a crossroads, where adherence to ideological tenets clashes with practical governance. Despite assurances that Iran is prepared to accept continued sanctions, signs indicate that the populace's patience may not withstand prolonged hardship amidst shortages and escalating prices. Ahead of potential negotiations, the interplay between military posturing and diplomatic overtures remains precarious. Sources indicate that the U.S. military continues to bolster its presence in the region, preparing for any escalations that may arise should Iran's position appear untenable. The international community remains watchful as developments unfold, understanding that the outcomes in the Strait of Hormuz bear significant global implications for energy security and regional stability. The situation therefore illustrates the complexities faced by both nations. The U.S. seeks to leverage its military and economic advantage while Iran grapples with internal dissent and waning economic strength. In a context filled with high stakes and unpredictable outcomes, the capacity of either side to effectively maneuver amidst these adversities will be crucial in determining the future trajectory of this ongoing conflict. The unfolding crisis serves as a reminder that in matters of international relations, every strategic decision carries weighty repercussions that extend beyond immediate borders and into the global arena. As we conclude our coverage of the developments in Iran today, we're reminded of the delicate balance that defines international relations. The recent military actions underscore the persistent complexities of geopolitical tensions and the ongoing dialogue surrounding national security and preparedness. These events serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present possibility of escalation in regional conflicts. As global citizens, we must remain vigilant and informed, recognizing that such incidents not only impact the nations directly involved, but have far-reaching implications for security and stability around the world. Thank you for joining us on Daylight News. We will continue to monitor this situation closely and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, we encourage our viewers to stay engaged and informed.